Mr. Henry, do you understand the offer that the state is making to you? As to all the charges that you're facing, the maximum possible penalties are as follows. Life in Florida State Prison, followed by 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 75 years.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
Like, they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They'll be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
Today it was announced YNW Melly's co-defendant, YNW Bortlen, was offered a 16-year plea deal, and he has until tomorrow to decide. He's currently facing 5 life sentences plus 75 years if convicted. As in the plea deal offer sheet, YNW Bortlen's charges of 5 life sentences consists of 2 first-degree M's, witness tampering charges, directing activities of a criminal act, and more witness tampering, which would all be consolidated into a 16-year prison sentence with time served, which is a no-brainer to accept.
Mr. Henry, do you understand the offer that the state is making to you? Okay, you're charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital felonies, which means it's a mandatory life sentence. If the jury convicts you of count 1 or count 2 as charged, that's life in Florida State Prison. I have no discretion. Count 3 and count 4 are accessory after the fact to the first degree. Those are each first degree felony. The maximum penalty for each of those is 30 years in Florida State Prison. Count 1 is tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State Prison. Is directing the activities of a criminal. That's a first degree felony punishable by life. So the maximum penalty there is also life in Florida State Prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. And again, as it's charged, that is also a life felony. As to all the charges that you're facing, the maximum possible penalties are as follows. Life in Florida State Prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State Prison.
The prosecutors have a very clear plan. As it was announced, YNW Melly's Double M retrial has been postponed once again. During a hearing on Friday, the 4th District Court of Appeals granted a stay in the case, allowing time to consider a motion by the state attorney's office. This stay means the trial will not begin in September and has been pushed back to January 2027. Meanwhile, Bortlen's trial begins in just a few days. They're doing this because they are trying to make a deal with YNW Bortlen. This all began when the news wrote a no communication order has now been filed in the YNW Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyer talk, just silence, as this is very common in court cases where there is 2 guilty parties where they're trying to make one turn on the other. Even the news wrote having Bortlen go against Melly is a slam dunk for the prosecution.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking the penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Having YNW Bortlen on their side will leave Melly found guilty in his trial in 2027. As a part of Bortlen's plea deal, all he has to do is confirm the evidence against Melly is true, and he gets a very small sentence. If Bortlen knows that he didn't commit this serious crime, he won't physically be able to sit there and take life in prison to the chin, making it very obvious he'll then just point the finger against Melly, just like YNW Melly did against Bortlen in the first trial. What you didn't even know is Melly's lawyer already tried pinning the crime on YNW Bortlen in the first ever trial.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, car riddled with, and when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Where Melly's lawyer is telling the jury Bortlen was the one telling lies to the feds, Bortlen was the one with powder residue on his hands, and he was the last one with juvie and sack chaser when they passed. Melly's lawyers even brought up a forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail of Bortlen having the powder residue on his hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
What you also didn't know is Bortlen and Melly haven't even talked to each other since Melly's lawyers did that, which is why when Melly's mistrial was granted, a report read, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet reads, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal, which means Bortlen has already been thinking about a plea deal since Melly's mistrial. But what's even more concerning is Bortlen has every reason to snitch against Melly because of what was found inside of his home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with a witness.
As it would be announced by Rice and Paul, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home last week, as filed into the Broward clerks by the state, alongside these photos of Bortlen detailing where certain jurors were sitting with a description of what they looked like. As right before Melly's lawyers started throwing incriminating evidence against Bortlen, it looked like Bortlen was getting ready to slide for YNW Melly on these jurors that would have found him guilty.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
But here's where it gets very concerning for Melly, and allow me to explain. YNW Bortlen will be able to validate all of the new evidence the prosecutors want to use against Melly. One piece of new evidence they want to use is this Facebook post to YNW Melly with Young Thug, trying to say that Melly is a part of the same red street team that Young Thug is.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons has the big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
as YNW Melly even made an effort inside of the courtroom trying to tell his lawyers to just allow the prosecutors to use it because he knows Bortlen is going to accept the plea deal and validate the evidence anyway. The news wrote, today's hearing marks the first time Melly publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court, where YNW Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
People inside of the courtroom overheard what YNW Melly was yelling at his lawyers, where he said, in quote, "I don't care, I'm not in no gang, they cannot prove that."
I'm aware that 924-071 calls for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further conviction, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
But what's even more concerning is this other piece of evidence they want to use from an ex-O-Block member snitching on YNW Melly, where he would reveal a secret that YNW Melly told King Von. Before Von passed away and Melly was arrested, these two were best friends. However, King Von told people inside of O-Block that YNW Melly had asked them for advice on how to deal with people. And if you know anything about King Von, you know what he's talking about.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
This means if YNW Bortlen accepts his plea deal, they will have 2 years to make all of that evidence usable against Melly, and if they do, Melly will be sentenced to life in prison. But what's even worse for YNW Melly is his second court case. In case you haven't been keeping up with the Melly trial, there's another case that is facing life inside of prison for. But to understand the charge, it's important to know that he was not found guilty in the first trial due to his girlfriend Mariah Hamilton escaping the United States. She wasn't able to testify against Melly because she escaped the US. However, she just came back into the country.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
As the judge made a deal with Mariah, telling her if you agree to testify against Melly, then you're free to go, which would mean that the feds have not only YNW Bortlen, but also Mariah Hamilton, who knows exactly what happened to Juvie and Sack Chaser. She accepted the deal instantly, which is terrible news for Melly. She even wrote on Facebook, "To my village, thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." Why this is so important is because on her iCloud account, there is evidence of Melly forcing her to not testify in the trial. This is known as witness tampering by using a jail phone. This alone carries a life sentence in prison, regardless if Melly actually did the crime to Juvie and Sack Chaser.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering case is also separate from the existing case of Sack Chaser and Juvie passing. Due to him witness tampering with the jail phone, YNW Melly has not been allowed to use a phone now for over a year. It got so bad that his mother, Jamie King, even did an interview exposing the county jail for not allowing Melly to use a phone or even look at his own mail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
The concerning part is the feds have the evidence to prove that he used jail phones to commit witness tampering. They wouldn't just keep Melly off of the jail phone if it was a hunch, as that would result in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Due to this, his mother, Jamie King, revealed she is absolutely heartbroken for her son. According to her, Melly isn't even being treated like a human.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
This, however, would get a lot of media attention, especially from industry people, where Charleston White would react, sharing that this is what YNW Melly should be living like. He shouldn't be receiving any special treatment.
Even the YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
It would even get the attention of rap OG Boosie, who would speak on the stress that Jamie King has been going through.
Okay, so then I met his mama while he was in. Oh, okay. I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
But having YNW Bortlen on their side will also answer one very important question, which is, what is the context of what happened 5 hours after the crime occurred? When it was announced, the prosecutors updated the evidence against Melly. He didn't know that he was filmed admitting to the passing of sack chaser in juvie, where only 5 hours after the crime was done, Melly was seen dancing in a parking lot with YNW Bortlen.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Bortlen will also be able to answer what YNW Melly was doing inside of the Jeep when he was seen 30 minutes before the passings, hopping into the Jeep before everybody else, sitting in the back left seat.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
The official court document read, "The direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the vehicle supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where YNW Melly was positioned." Even YNW Juvie's mother confirmed Melly was sitting there.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
Comment down below if you believe YNW Melly will be found guilty due to Bortlen's plea deal, and leave a like on the video if you'll still listen to Melly's music.